Good morning, everyone out there who's watching my channel. I hope you all are well, for it's a blessed day. Each day we awaken, it is a blessed day because the Lord has helped us through the night and got us through the night. So I'm always thankful when I wake up in the morning. God's grace brought me through the night to see another beautiful day that He's created. So today, we'll go ahead and do today's devotion. It is entitled, Laying Down the Law Without Giving Up Grace. And in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19, it reads, While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought into bondage. Now we'll go ahead and read the devotion. It says, when I was about 10 years old, my mom had to go to an all-day teachers conference on a Saturday. She did not have a babysitter for me, so she dropped me off at a movie theater across the street from the conference. I watched 4 complete showings of Thunderball with Sean Connery. For 2 weeks I went around the house saying, shaken, not stirred. I had no idea what it meant. But if you know anything about James Bond, you know his designation was 007. 00 was a special designation of British spies who had the freedom to kill without answering to anyone. They had a license to kill. There are many Christians today who think that because they are in His Majesty's service, of course meaning God, they have been given a special license, a license to sin. They think God's grace gives them the freedom to do whatever they want to do. But that is an abuse of God's amazing gift of grace. Have you ever heard anybody ask this question? If I am saved and forgiven of my sins, and I know I'm going to heaven regardless of what I do, what keeps me from sinning as much as I want to? That question fails to take into account the fact that the recipient of God's grace has a new master. As a Christian, you are not free to do whatever you want. No, you have just changed masters. That is what Paul was talking about in Romans 6:16, which reads, Do you not know that when you present yourselves to someone as slaves for obedience, you are slaves of the one whom you obey, either of sin resulting in death, or of obedience resulting in righteousness? Wow. Every one of us is a slave of someone. None of us is free. You can serve sin and therefore you are a slave of Satan. Or you can serve righteousness and that makes you a slave of God. Do you know how to tell what you are a slave to? It is whatever you cannot say no to. In 2 Peter 2:19, Peter said, By what a man is overcome, by this he is enslaved. There's a shorter version of what I read earlier. If you cannot say no to dessert, guess what? You're a slave to sugar. If you cannot say no to television in order to spend time with your family or read your Bible, then you are a slave to the tube. You cannot say no to, if you cannot say no to pornography, then you're a slave to immorality. If you cannot say no to sin, then you are a slave to Satan. We are all slaves to someone. And as what it's saying is, we're a slave of something or someone. It's either God or it's material things, or if we just plain out not sin, knowing we're sinning, then we are a slave to Satan. So let us not be that way, people. Let us strive to serve God with all we have. Because I personally do not want to be a slave of Satan or sin or anything else. So I hope you all feel the same way out there. I'd rather be a slave to God than anybody else or anything else. So I hope you feel the same way out there today. And again, I appreciate everyone viewing my channel. The views have gone down a little bit, but I'm not going to be discouraged because I believe God has given me this as a ministry. So I thank you all who are watching faithfully, and I hope you got something out of that today. Let us be slaves of God, people, not of sin. And I pray for blessings to be upon you and your families. And I thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless.